Thank you, and thank you for being here. You have a good year coming towards the end. Yeah, I guess I'm getting a local vibe from you guys. You guys, by a round of applause, who's local? I don't believe you guys. If you were local, you wouldn't clap at all. Bullshit. People say, people talk about the Seattle Freeze. You guys, I'm sure you're familiar. I don't really believe in Seattle Freeze. I think it's autism. I think Seattle is the capital, the #1 autism capital of the country. That's why my neighbors won't look me in the eye. If you want to know what it's like to be shunned from a city, that's as far as that joke will go. It's been a good year for me. As of last semester, I'm finished with my master's degree. Felt really good. It's all right. I dropped out anyway. Not that you guys clapped or cared. It's fine. My wife and I found out that we're expecting a baby boy, so that's been very exciting. Wow. Oh, shit. You guys are locals. That's the true mark of a local. It's like, why the fuck would you have a kid? Did you see what? We haven't even decided if we're gonna keep it, if we're being honest. We have until January something, inauguration day, to decide. Then the choice will no longer be ours. It's a thinker. Yeah, no, it's actually not our first. I know it's not as exciting. It's our second. My daughter, she's 18 months. She's waiting in the car right now. Patiently. She's so patient. I cracked the window. I'm not like a monster. Come on. I would like to save up for a Tesla though, because they have this mode where you can leave the car on, air conditioning, cameras are on, the doors are locked. You can monitor what's going on your phone. It's called like dog mode, but I mean, wink, wink. I won't tell if you won't tell. Childcare is getting very expensive today, guys. You just gotta cope. My daughter has a lot of personality now. She's a year and a half, and I don't know if you guys know this, a newborn has zero fucking personality. They're almost still a fetus with more or less human rights depending on what state you are in the country. More or less a right to exist. And but no, she's walking, she's talking, I think it should be common practice to rename your kid when they turn a year and a half. I would like to rename my kid Chastity, because she's a tremendous cockblock. Isn't that crazy that Chastity is a real name? What goes through the head of someone naming their kid Chastity? Well, I don't want my daughter to be a whore. That's pretty much it. Chastity it is. I think prudence is a good middle ground, you know? You think use prudence. Isn't that weird that people would make fun of, or if a girl was a prude, it was like an insult in high school? Be like, don't talk to her, man, she's a prude. She doesn't give head, she just uses it. But yeah, she's a lot of personality now. She started doing this thing where I'll be changing her diaper and she'll start smacking herself right in the vagina, right? And like I'm trying to make sure, I have to hold her up like a pig at a luau now, because if there's shit, she goes everywhere. I would like to take a minute, if you were born with a vagina, after the show, call your mom and thank them for cleaning the shit out of the labia. I do that every night. It's fun. It's too graphic. I'm losing you guys. I can see it in your eyes. But if you don't do it, they get sick. It's what life is. Every single one of you had shit in your vagina at one point in time. I want to drive that home. It's very important to me that you know that before I move on. And if you don't do it right, they get sick. And this is what happened. Because she had these fevers, right? And we didn't know what was wrong. She had no other symptoms. And so we take her to the hospital because she's in these high fevers. And we're in the waiting room, or in the patient room. I'm in the rolly chair. And I know I don't belong in the rolly chair, but it's more comfortable. And the nurse walks in, and she's like, "That's my chair." I was like, "Oh shit, sorry." I swear to God, this is a true story. That's the only thing she said to me. She rolls the rolly chair across the room to a stand-up computer, rests her foot on the rolly chair, types away whatever bullshit, walks out and doesn't say another word. I don't know if you've ever been bullied in the pediatrician's office, where the patient bed is a fire truck, but it's very confusing and angering. And I had to decide what was more important to me, the health and safety of my child or my pride. So we go to another hospital, of course, which I think is a fair compromise. They run some tests. We get a phone call the next day. My wife puts the phone on speaker. She says, well, we got the results. Your daughter has a urinary tract infection. We found E. coli in her urine. Are you familiar with what E. coli is? She asked my wife. My wife's like, yeah, like the bacteria, right? And the doctor was like overly impressed that we knew what E. coli was. She's like, yeah, right on. Wait, are you a doctor too? I was like, are you familiar with Chipotle? That shit gives me E. coli twice a week. It's worth it. You got any married folk here? This country is failing. I'm telling you. Here's the one thing I'll tell you. If you're on the fence about it, people will tell you not to get married. They'll tell you it's like a trap or it's like being in prison. But that's not true at all. People still have sex when they're in prison. My wife, she's North African. She was raised Muslim. So as far as Muslim women goes, I don't just like them. Assalamu alaikum. If you got that joke, you got some culture in you. Appreciate it. I don't know, what else do you guys want to hear? Should I switch gears? Would you guys rather hear a crazy sex story of mine or this interaction I had with a homeless person?
Homeless.
Homeless. God, please. The homeless one. Well, guess what? It's the same story, so it didn't matter anyway. I'm joking around. I was, excuse me. I was riding a light rail the other day, and this homeless gentleman was masturbating across the aisle from me, which, I don't know, I always picture what I do in a situation like that, because I wanted to be the hero, stand up. Sir, stow your penis, please. It turns out it's one thing to be within a earshot of a situation, and it's another to be within a cum shot of a situation. Oh, you guys don't like that one. You guys are not liking the graphic stuff. That's all right. I had to get off before he got off. Let's just leave it at that. I'll leave you with one more. Another homeless one, why not, right? I was walking my dog, and this homeless lady walked up to me, and I didn't know she was homeless. She was just perfectly pleasant. She's like, hey, can I pet your dog? I was like, sure. She's petting him, everything's fine, and then just something turns on a switch in her head. She just like looks up at me. She's like, you know, all you Indian motherfuckers keep inbreeding. And that's why you're all retarded. It's like, holy shit, isn't that so fucked up? She mistook me for an Indian. Thank you guys. You guys have been wonderful. Have a great night.